Okay, I think we can get started now. Thank you all for coming. My name is Erin Riker. I am the technology-based legal services attorney at the Center for Elder Law and Justice. And this afternoon, we are going to discuss cryptocurrency scams, which are on the rise for older adults. As a disclaimer, the information presented during this webinar is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal advice and does not form an attorney-client relationship between you and I or between you and the Center for Elder Law and Justice. We will provide our contact information at the end of this webinar for inquiries about legal assistance on this or any other issue. So this afternoon, we are going to start by discussing what is cryptocurrency. We will go through a little bit of the background behind the history of it. We will talk about whether any of it is legitimate and how to tell whether it's legitimate or not. Then we will go through an overview of the cryptocurrency scams, which include payment scams and investment scams. Finally, we'll wrap up with some practical information to share with your clients or with other seniors that you work with. If they believe they've been a victim of a cryptocurrency scam, what they can do to protect themselves and prevent it from happening again. First of all, cryptocurrency is also known as crypto. It's digital currency that's protected by cryptography, hence the name. The cryptography that it's protected by makes this digital currency virtually impossible to counterfeit or to double spend. Some examples of cryptocurrency include Bitcoin, which everyone usually associates with cryptocurrency. There are other forms, but Bitcoin was the first. There is another one that has emerged recently called Dogecoin, which actually started as a joke, but the creators of it created it as a meme for cryptocurrency, but it was featured in a Reddit subthread that was managed by the Wall Street Journal on cryptocurrency, which prompted a lot of people to start buying it, which made it increase in value. And now it is one of the cryptocurrencies that is regularly used. The thing to understand about cryptocurrency versus actual currency, US dollars or Canadian dollars, rubles, any other type, is cryptocurrency is not regulated by any central monetary authority or any government. With US dollars, the US Treasury and the Fed regulate the amount of currency in circulation. They have complex monetary policies that control the value of US dollars and ensure that they are not either rapidly inflating or that they're not crashing in value. There is no regulation or central regulatory authority for cryptocurrency. Some cryptocurrency issuers will place some limits on the amount of their currency that is allowed to be in circulation. We'll discuss that in a little bit, but some currency providers of cryptocurrency do not. What this means for a practical value is that the cryptocurrency values are incredibly volatile and they are very sensitive to investor behavior. If a lot of people are using or mining for a specific type of cryptocurrency, it could increase rapidly in value. If people suddenly stop using it, it could decrease rapidly in value. Whereas US dollars are, valued against certain currencies and those values are updated from day to day, and from day to day, they don't generally change too much. With Bitcoin, with other forms of cryptocurrency, these could be worth significant amounts in the morning of one day of trading. And then by the afternoon, they could have lost almost all their value because they're not regulated by these monetary authorities or any governments. So there is a difference between cryptocurrency and payment apps. And in understanding cryptocurrency, this is where some people get tripped up. So I wanted to make sure we go over this. Payment apps are applications for either your phone or for the internet that you can access via a web browser. PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, the Cash App are some current examples of them. These payment apps use standard currency that you already have access to in order to make transfers to people or purchases on the internet with an additional layer of security. So when you're paying using PayPal, you might see that you have a PayPal balance of $4.50. That's $4.50 that you already own, and it's $4.50 that you own in US dollars. It's not PayPal dollars. It's not a separate currency. It's either US dollars or, whichever currency you're using your payment app backed by that you own, that you're only using the payment app to trade with. So these transfers via payment apps are in US dollars or in your local currency, and they are subject to the same value and use as actual cash money would be. They are regulated by government monetary authorities, and depending on which country you're located in, these currencies are backed either by gold or by the full faith and credit of the government issuing that currency. In the US, our currency used to be backed by gold, but now it is backed only by the full faith and credit of the government. However, that has never seriously been questioned, so that is why our currency is so stable in value. You can use payment apps to purchase crypto, but you would be purchasing that crypto using US dollars or your other local currency. So the difference here that's key to remember between payment apps and cryptocurrency, payment apps use currency that is already available to you and currency that is available in physical dollars, currency that is regulated by monetary authorities. Cryptocurrency is its own currency in and of itself, and it is issued by cryptocurrency companies that are not necessarily regulated by any government or monetary authority. So how do you obtain crypto? Historically, you can obtain it through mining. This is by individuals could earn Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency to exist, by allowing their computers to be used by Bitcoin to solve complex math problems. And as they were being used to solve these math problems, they would earn Bitcoin. These complex math problems that they were solving is called mining. And then when they would solve enough of them, they would mine to earn a Bitcoin. This is similar to, if anyone's familiar with the grid computing and specifically programs like SETI at home, where SETI, the search for extraterrestrial information, would use people's personal computers in the background to process information and process math problems in order to aid in the search for extraterrestrial life. It's similar to that in that you can allow your computer to be used to solve these problems in order to earn more Bitcoin. These Bitcoin can also, and other crypto, can be bought with US currency or other government-backed currency. This is known colloquially as fiat money. These are bought through online exchanges. They can also be bought through traditional brokerage houses, and they are stored in digital wallets offered by the crypto platforms. Cryptography that's used to create these currencies makes these digital wallets almost unhackable. It is very, very difficult to hack these, which is why some people like to use cryptocurrency to buy and sell things. Which brings us to our next point. Is any cryptocurrency legitimate? A lot of people will hear the word cryptocurrency or hear you talking about Bitcoin and think that you're only using it to buy drugs on the internet or engage in other illicit transactions. That's not exactly true. However, that misunderstanding is part of what contributes to the crypto scams that are currently in existence that we'll get to in a few minutes. There are established online platforms and dealers that will deal in crypto. Companies that you have heard of already, SoFi, the lending house, Robinhood. There are IRA holding companies that offer your IRA in crypto. So it is legitimate, but it is still volatile. Like I said, the lack of regulation and the sensitivity to investor behavior for value make these susceptible to very rapid inflation. Some cryptocurrencies do not limit the amount of currency that can be earned through mining. What this means is there is a potentially unlimited amount of that cryptocurrency on the market. And as the amount of that currency in circulation increases, the value of that currency will decrease. The Fed for US dollars places limits through its monetary policy on the amount of US dollars in circulation in order to protect its value from wild swings like this. Some cryptocurrency companies will place limits on the amount in circulation as well, but some will not. And they are not required by any government entity or any central monetary authority to put these limits in place. That is part of the reason why cryptocurrencies value, even for legitimate cryptocurrencies, is still incredibly volatile. Okay, let's get into an overview of some of the cryptocurrency scams. They are gaining popularity among scammers. From 2020 to 2021, according to the Better Business Bureau, cryptocurrencies moved from the 7th riskiest to the 2nd riskiest scams currently in existence. And how risky a scam is based on its prevalence and the amount of money that's lost. These are particularly targeted towards older consumers, but they can affect anyone. And crypto offers a lot of unique opportunities for scammers that might not be present with other types of scams. First, it's the general lack of understanding. Crypto has been around for 15 years plus, but a lot of people still don't understand what it is or what it does. And despite that lack of understanding, it has been increasing in popularity. And it has been increasing in legitimacy due to some trusted businesses accepting crypto as payment. For example, you can use cryptocurrency to buy certain types of vehicles. You can use it to buy event tickets. You can use it to buy luxury watches, or in certain cases, you can even use it on Amazon. So people are seeing that it is being accepted for legitimate payments. They're not 100% understanding what it is or how it works. And that gives scammers a unique opportunity to capitalize on people's lack of knowledge, but increased wanting to be able to use this. The two types of cryptocurrency scams we're going to go over in general are payment scams and cryptocurrency investment scams. Cryptocurrency payment scams are simply when cryptocurrency is used with any other type of scam to send payment to the scammers. Romance scammers in particular will ask for money from their targets in crypto. They will ask for it because these transactions are impossible to reverse once they've happened. They will ask for it because they know that their targets don't often understand what crypto is or how it works. They might think that it's the same as a credit card, that you could just get your money back if you're not satisfied with the purchase, or if it was turned out to be fraudulent. That is not true. They will also offer, scammers that are offering false offers for goods and services will also demand that you pay them in crypto. There are certain government impersonators that will demand you pay them in crypto. Also, ransomware payments. If someone hacks a government organization, a hospital, your personal computer, they will demand these in crypto as well. It's important to remember that when you're trying to determine whether something is or is not a scam, legitimate businesses may accept crypto, but they will always offer other payment options. They will always offer you the option to pay through some form of US currency or other local currency. If someone is demanding payment and the only option they give you is crypto, that's a scam. Cryptocurrency investment scams are also increasing in popularity. And these usually present themselves as the opportunity to buy into a new form of cryptocurrency that is projected to increase rapidly in value. Scammers know that people are aware of early adopters of Bitcoin who became millionaires when their Bitcoin increased rapidly in value. They know that People also, want these things that are too good to be true, these get rich quick ideas, and they will prey on that and people's lack of knowledge of crypto in general to offer investment opportunities that are essentially too good to be true. As with a lot of investment scams, there's the emphasis here on urgency and secrecy, and this is done to prevent the target from verifying if the investment is legitimate. There are ways to verify if a particular form of cryptocurrency is legitimate or if it doesn't exist, but scammers don't want you to be able to do that. So they will often propose these investment opportunities and then tell you that you only have a certain amount of time to act on it, or you shouldn't tell your friends and family, this offer is only for you. Those are red flags that you're being sucked into a cryptocurrency investment scam. What cryptocurrency investment scammers will often do is hack legitimate social media profiles and send these investment scam opportunities to the contacts of that social media profile. So if your friend John Smith has his Facebook hacked by a cryptocurrency scammer, you might get a message from him saying that he's invested in this amazing new crypto. He's offering you the opportunity to get down on the ground floor. You'll be a millionaire by the end of the month. This builds trust and lowers inhibitions, because one of the things that we always tell people about scams is that scammers are new people who you don't know and trust. And by hacking these social media profiles, these scammers are pretending to be people that you know and trust. This builds trust, it lowers the inhibitions. Someone is much less likely to verify information coming from their friend John on Facebook than coming from a total stranger. However, it's always best to verify these types of things in person to make sure that your friends or family members or contacts weren't the victims of having their social media profiles being hacked. Scammers may also claim to be financial brokers. However, it's important to note that all financial brokers are required to be registered in the United States. The government organization FINRA, FINRA, has a broker check tool. You can access this on FINRA's website to determine whether an individual or an organization is actually registered as a broker. If they're not, that's a red flag right there that it's a scam. Okay. If you have been scammed, or if someone you're working with has been scammed, what you're going to want to know is, what can I do now? And these are some practical tips to keep in mind if you feel like you have been victims of a scam, or if you feel that someone who is your friend or family member or colleague has been a victim. These are practical things you can do to lessen the damage and to lessen the risk that it will happen again. First, emphasize that it is not the target's fault. We don't want people feeling the kinds of shame and embarrassment that are commonly felt when they realize they're a victim of a scam, because that makes them a lot less likely to reach out for help. People don't want to be embarrassed. We have seen people who will refuse to file police reports because they don't want the police to think that they're the type of person that falls for scams. The type of person, quote unquote, who falls for a scam is literally anyone. Scammers are very good at building trust and getting under your skin and, separating you from your money. So the first thing to always remember, if you or someone you love has been a target, is that it is not your fault. If someone suspects a scam, they should cease all communication with that individual. If you have been getting information from a friend's social media profile about an investment and you've interacted, you've sent money through links that they have given you, you should cease all communication with that individual except in person, when you can verify that it's really them and not someone who's hacked their social media profile. When you cease all communication with a scammer, you should be prepared that they will intensify their efforts to get in touch with you. They may start being threatening. They may start demanding more frequent contact. So it's not always easy to cease communication, but it's necessary in order to limit the amount of damage that can be done. The next thing we recommend is that the person who's been a target put together a list of any financial information that a scammer might already have about you and any information about any funds that you may have transferred to them. If you gave them your bank account information or credit card information, if you applied for a loan or a line of credit in order to obtain funds to give to the scammer, that's information you're going to want to put together right away. The method you use to transfer money to the scammer will often determine the likelihood of whether or not you will get your money back. Gift cards are almost impossible to reverse. If you have paid someone in gift cards, you are probably not going to see that money back. Wire transfers are a little bit, there is what's called the financial fraud kill chain, which makes it a little bit easier to reverse a wire transfer. However, this only applies to specific types of wire transfers. They have to be international, they have to be $50,000 or more, and you have to notify the FTC within 72 hours or less. Their Cash App transactions, whether or not these can be reversed really depends on the platform you're using. Those, we've had varying amounts of success with PayPal, Venmo, other Cash App platforms, but that really depends on the platform's policy about whether or not they will reverse those transactions. Loans and lines of credit, once you have taken them out, even if you took them out for a scammer, oftentimes you are liable to repay that money to the bank or the financial institution that you have taken out that money for. The same as if you take out loans against real property, if you take out a second mortgage or a home equity line of credit. Even if you took that out to send money to a scammer and you filed a police report and you have proof that that was a scam, the bank is still most likely going to determine that you are liable to repay that money to them. So it's really important to kind of manage your expectations about how likely it is that you will get the funds back. The best thing you can do in terms of protecting yourself is to learn how to prevent scams in the futures. Scammers will buy and sell lists of scam victims among various scam rings so that the people who have been victimized once are very likely to be targeted again. They will do this because they know if they have a list of 100 people who have answered the phone for a scammer once, these 100 people might answer the phone for a scammer again. So if you have been victimized by a cryptocurrency scam, you should be on the lookout for all types of scams, further cryptocurrency scams and further scams in general, because your name is likely being traded between scam rings or as someone who is more likely to fall victim to a scam. The next thing is to take time and familiarize yourself with any potential investment before sending any money. If someone tells you that this opportunity is only available for the next hour or the next day, that's probably not an opportunity that's legitimate. A very simple way to do this is to Google the name of the investment being offered and then the word scam after that. A lot of these investment scams, a lot of these crypto scams have been around for a little while. And if you look that information up, there is information letting you know that these are scams. Reporting the scam is also very important for a couple of different reasons. Reporting scams, you can report them in New York State to the New York State Attorney General's office. You can also report them to the Federal Trade Commission. The Center for Elder Law and Justice has a scam portal to assist with reporting to the FTC. Reporting these scams to the Attorney General's office and the Federal Trade Commission will not generally result in them investigating your scam individually, but what it will do, it will allow them to keep track of scam patterns. And with these patterns, they can aid in investigation of larger scam networks. And when these investigations end up with the arrest or the apprehension of a larger scam network, that's when people who have been scammed at that might have more of a chance of getting at least some of their money back. These investigations have resulted in actions that have allowed people who sent money to scammers via Western Union to get some of their money back, or via MoneyGram. And these patterns are what the agencies such as the AG and the FTC will rely on when they're doing those investigations. So even if it doesn't result in the immediate return of your funds, you should still report those because they will help the investigation of these scams in general. The second thing is to file a police report. Police reports are necessary to pursue victim compensation funds through the Office of Crime Victim Services. If the scammer is also local or if they're known to you, this could result in arrest or restitution. A lot of people will say, well, why bother filing a police report if it's very unlikely that I'm going to get my money back? Filing a police report also establishes evidence that you've been a victim of a crime, which can be helpful in managing any negative effects on your credit. It can be helpful in proving to the payment platforms that you use this money for scam purposes, or that you use this money to send to a scammer so that they will be more likely to reverse the charges if they can. It's a very important tool to have to prove that you've been a victim of a scam. The last thing and the most important thing is to always ask for help. Like we said, a lot of people who are scam victims are embarrassed. They don't want to ask for help because they don't want to admit they've been victimized. Always, always, always ask for help because we know that it is not your fault. The Center for Elder Law and Justice has resources to assist scammers. We can help, or to assist scam victims. We can help with running credit reports. We can implement credit freezes if it's necessary, if someone has your information. We can assist with reporting scams to those government authorities that we talked about. And we can assist with education regarding additional steps they can take to prevent further financial damage. We have education that we can give people on different types of scams, how to avoid scams in general, how to set up their phones and their internet services to make it less likely that the scammers will be able to contact them. Another thing is to ask a trusted family member or a friend for help with financial management. Having a fresh set of eyes look at something can often identify a scam before you've been victimized. Particularly if you've been victimized once, like we said, you are very likely to be victimized again. And if you have a trusted family member or a trusted friend looking at these potential scams with you, if you get a communication about a investment opportunity that seems too good to be true and you show it to them, they are often going to be able to identify that that's a scam because they're a little more removed from the situation, so they can put a fresh set of eyes on it. The Center for Elder Law and Justice also offers our free senior legal advice helpline for anyone in New York State aged 55 and over. This helpline provides brief legal services and referrals for people who need more in-depth legal services. We can answer questions on the helpline about whether something sounds like it's a scam or it sounds like it's too good to be true. If someone feels that they've already been scammed, we can refer people to either our own agency if they qualify or other agencies that may be able to help them deal with the effects of the scam. This helpline is staffed by live attorneys between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. And it is set up to take voicemail messages at other times of the day. It also is set up through email. And when you leave a message with your full name and your phone number, an attorney will respond to you within 2 to 3 business days. We also have our regular intake line open. If you have been a victim of a scam and you want CellJ's assistance, you can call through the regular intake line that is listed on the slide. The Center for Elder Law and Justice also offers some web-based applications to screen for legal and financial risk that can help you if you've been a victim of a scam or if you feel that you might be a prime candidate to be a victim of a scam. The first is our legal risk detector, which is a web-based legal health checkup tool. This is designed to be used by non-legal service providers people such as social workers, people in hospitals, adult protective services workers, and this can be used to screen older adults for common legal issues, including housing, healthcare, and consumer issues and financial exploitation. This app can be used to screen people for these legal issues that could pop up because they've been a victim of a scam. It could pop up for other reasons, but the idea behind this is to identify these legal issues when they're still small enough to be handled more easily, as opposed to letting them get really big and then having them be much more difficult to ameliorate. The second app that we have is our senior financial safety tool. This is a web-based tool that can be used by financial institutions, older adults themselves, or anyone who works with older adults to screen for risks of financial exploitation. This is similar to the legal risk detector, but this goes into a lot more detail about financial exploitation, including scams specifically. It also provides resources for older adults that may be at risk of financial exploitation. It will offer the chance to be referred to the Center for Elder Law and Justice for legal assistance if the person being screened wants that referral. If they don't want that referral, they don't have to have it. They don't have to send any of their information to us. They will just get the self-help material at the end that allows them to take steps on their own to reduce their risk of financial exploitation, including scams. And finally, the Center for Elder Law and Justice contact information is up now. We have 3 offices across Western New York. Our main office is in Erie County. We also have offices in Niagara County and in Chautauqua County. We are available all the time at elderjusticeny.org. And we're also available through our legal advice helpline that we discussed a couple of slides ago. And that concludes the information that we have for you. If there are any questions, I know everyone is on mute, but you can ask them in the chat or in the Q&A function. I will leave that open for a second if you are typing your questions, and I would be happy to answer them at this time. Okay, I'm not seeing questions pop up in the chat or in the Q&A. There's one that just popped up. Is it possible to get a copy of the slide? If you can put your contact information in the chat room, then I can send copies of the slides to people who might want it. If you want copies of the slide, you can also reach out to me directly. My email is E as an elephant, Riker at elderjusticeny.org. You can also reach out to the email that's listed on your screen right now, info@elderjusticeny.org, and just let them know that you'd like a copy of the cryptocurrency scam slides. Okay, I'll leave the chat open for just another second so that people can put their contact information in there if they want to get the copy of the slides that way. Were there any other questions? All right, well, in that case, thank you so much to everyone who came today to see our presentation. Again, if you have any questions at all, or if you want copies of the slides, you can reach out to me at eriker@elderjusticeny.org or info@elderjusticeny.org. Thank you very much for coming to our presentation, and we hope to see you next time.